Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
I just dropped my camera. Oh god. I know we don't show the past on this channel very much, but back in college I actually had a huge collection thanks to Metal Jesus. He's the one that got me into collecting, and everything was going super well until I got into a financial situation. Ironically, this is where I met Jordan from Collector's Luck. I was able to sample some of the footage from his channel, and him and I still even talk to this day. He actually came over to one of my old houses that I lived in when I was piecing out my collection, and he was actually there to buy the lime green N64 for me. I was very broke, I needed the cash, so the collection had to go. As the next few years went on, I got back into collecting and started this Rolling Retro channel documenting my finds and flips. I have always been a big fan of the PlayStation 2 ever since I was a kid, and one of the things I told myself as I was starting this channel is that I would own one of the most expensive games for the PS2. And when you do a quick little Google search, one of the most sought after titles is Rule of Rose, pushing $750.
I want it for the collection, but if you're like me, do you want to pay $750? Because I do not want to pay $750.
Now the morning started off great. I picked up a Wii lot for $50, and then my next stop was a vintage Pokemon collection for $100. I can't lie though, this was a crazy collection. There's a lot of expensive cards in here, but the reason I bring this up is because it plays an important part in today's story. With these cards, I stopped at the local game store to buy some top loaders because I wanted to add more protection to the cards when I was going to get them graded and to sell them. Walking in is actually when I took a stumble upon the display case, and I noticed that inside was Rule of Rose for $699. This is the third time I've spotted this game in the wild, and I am not going to let it slip today.
To give you guys an idea of what I'm going to be offering up, hopefully everything doesn't go to afford it, but I have like a starter deck for Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a gigantic pack of modern Pokemon cards. There's some decent ones in there, like Soul Divide, Resident Evil. I'm keeping Castlevania, but I am trying to get some of those higher value titles to really crank down the value of Rule of Rose. Some more cards, I have some vintage in there. Some of the Nintendo cards, I am keeping some in the collection. I know I'm not going into full detail right now, but it's basically ones I know for a fact that I'm not going to have in the collection forever, or I'm not going to be playing. There's like Pokemon, a couple sealed games in there basically, and we do have a Wii system down here with a original Blue DS. So that's kind of what we're rolling with, just to see what happens. And I also do have some cash on me in case if this isn't enough. Fingers crossed, we shall see though.
Ladies and gentlemen, greatness has officially been achieved. To give you a little breakdown, because there wasn't pretty much anything recorded in the actual game store besides the few clips that you saw at the beginning of this video, I ended up trading in a Wii, a PS2, a Blue DS with no charger, a handful of cheaper games, some Nintendo cards, a couple heavy hitters like Resident Evil for the PlayStation 1, and there was a few others I can't actually remember right off the top of my head without looking back at what is missing from my collection. But the moral of the story is, I know they probably got a little bit more value out of that trade deal than I did in credit. They're a business. I know they're trying to trade up. It doesn't necessarily matter to me because everything that I gave them, including the Resident Evil titles, to me, I have found these multiple times out in the wild, and I'm going to emphasize right now on the word multiple. Rule of Rose, to me, is one of these titles that is worth it, especially when I personally believe not only is this within the top 3 most expensive titles, if not the most expensive title besides Kuon technically. I think it's a great investment. I think this is an absolute grail, not like some $60, $70 game. This is a completely different ballpark, and I am more than happy and more than ecstatic to add this to the collection. It is in beautiful condition. I will have some of the B-roll footage right now kind of overlaying, or hopefully I've done that earlier when I was talking, but there is barely any like nicks or damage on the front of the cover. The back is in pristine condition. It still has the registration card on the inside. The manual, I would say, is an overall amazing shape. There's really no creases or dents or missing pieces or pages, and the CD has been resurfaced and it is in mint or very clean condition overall. And to get this for only $80 out of my pocket, because I ended up getting $625 in trade credit, I would call this for $80 an absolute steal of a deal. This is not going out of my collection either A, forever, or B, for a very, very long time, because if this were to like substantially go up to some crazy price like $5,000 or $10,000, I'm sorry, but it's probably gotta go for that price, especially for getting it for 80 bucks. I'm just happy the mission is finally complete, ladies and gentlemen, but I can't say the mission is fully complete, because the next one on the list for the PS2, since this is my all-time favorite console, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be on the hunt for the second Grail to add Kuon. I'm coming for you, Kuon, and you know I am not going to be paying full value, and I will own that title next to Rule of Rose. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. Have you ever owned Rule of Rose? Do you currently have it in the collection? Or if you don't, is this something that you would like to own at one point in time? Thank you guys so much. Make sure to go and hit that subscribe button. But regardless, I gotta go and enjoy this piece. Stay tuned.